I never thought I would actually be able to have this boardwalk type of vibe ready for me every single day, where I can enjoy a nice cocktail on an evening, sin alcohol for me, of course. I can watch people playing football and volleyball and swimming and just having fun, and my children get to enjoy that. And as I wander down the boardwalk here in this very, very nice evening warmth, the heat of the day gone, it just cast me back a little bit to quite a while ago, earlier in my life, when I was a doorman or bouncer, whatever you want to call it, in Manchester, in Newcastle, Middlesbrough, Hartlepool, Warrington, lots of pretty undesirable places as well as some nice places. And back then, I think if you'd have said to me, you're going to live on the beach, your children can grow up with that type of environment and lifestyle, I think I'd have literally just laughed at you. I just would not have believed it. Yet a number of decisions and things have happened that have permitted me, allowed me, facilitated, given me the courage to make this my life and our life as a family. And yeah, I think, like, as a teenager, I was pretty disillusioned with life. I wasn't in many sports teams, and I would have been probably okay, but I was just not motivated by it. And it wasn't until I found martial arts in my mid-teens that it really, I'm not necessarily exaggerating when I say it gave me my life. That it gave me purpose. Immediately I felt at home with those people. I saw skill development and confidence and so on, and it really gave me my life. And at the time I was working on building sites all day to make ends meet, and hated it, absolutely hated it. And I want to say here, I have no issue with, I think tradespeople, building, construction is a very, very credible, honourable profession, and there's nothing against that. But for me at the time, all I wanted to do was train full time, and it was really not my vibe to be having like bacon sandwiches at 10 o'clock and 4 sugars in the coffee. And I know it sounds small, these things, but it just wasn't a good values fit for me. Hated it. And yet I didn't have the courage or the confidence to make martial arts. I didn't even think you could do it. I didn't even think there was something out there. I was just conditioned to get a job, work, pay bills, like many people are. Maybe you are as well if you're watching this or have been. And then it was a book that I read. I went to a seminar with a martial artist called Jeff Thompson, who is a well-known self-protection martial arts guy. And I was blown away by it, and I bought his book called Shapeshifter. And in the book, it nailed me. It absolutely nailed me, because Jeff had basically transformed his life. He'd given himself permission to take a year off work, working in a factory. I kind of felt some synergy there. And he trained full time. And I was like, oh my God, you can actually do that. You can exercise and do martial arts full time. It's unbelievable. And the line that nailed me was from the book was, if you make your hobby your job, you'll never work again. And it was perfect timing. It literally, that book probably read it in a weekend. In one weekend, my life changed completely. and I decided to make martial arts my full-time job. And even when the company I was working for, I think they'd spotted a bit of potential. Hey, who knows, like I had some potential. And I was offered a contract, paperwork across my desk, that sort of thing, site management-y type of progression. And it was like 22 grand or something like that a year, which back then, I'm talking, when was this? It's probably early 2000s, 2001, 2, something like that, maybe 2002, 3 perhaps. Yeah, that was quite a good salary actually. And I literally didn't blink. It's just like, no chance, I am going to become a martial artist. And left the job a few weeks or months later and trained in different places in America, trained with Danny Inosanto, who's Bruce Lee's #1 student, Larry Hartzell, who's another one of Bruce Lee's top students, as well as Straight Blast Gym, people like John Kavanagh, who's Conor McGregor's coach, and settled in Manchester with Carl Tanswell, who was a brilliant mentor for me. God rest his soul, he's not with us anymore, but I love that guy. He had a good impact, big impact on me, and I saw his life, and it gave me permission. He was living the life I wanted. And I think that's a big part of life. You've got to have mentors, you've got to see people who've done what you want to do and model that. And to fund my martial arts training, I took a job. Well, I took lots of jobs actually as a doorman. I'd already made that decision, and I was in Newcastle at the time and was working the doors in the northeast, so to train full time. And then when I moved to Manchester, I worked the doors in Manchester. And this is like post Hacienda, Sankey's Soap, Sankey's nightclub era. What a great city Manchester was at the time. Fantastic club scene and lots of fun. I actually generally really enjoyed working the doors there. Worked a lot at Mojo's in Manchester and many other clubs and bars all around the city, and yeah, lots of other things too, lots of other places too. Met some great people there as well, and also some pretty not pleasant sights. And when you look a bit deeper into that scene, you sort of see this is not a world that I want to be a part of. You know, we had to wear stab vests, and it was dangerous, but I didn't kind of recognize that. I was 20 odd years old. I actually wanted some of that, to be honest with you. I'd been in a bit of trouble in my teens, nothing too bad, but I was very disillusioned, and I was no stranger to getting my hands dirty, shall we say. But I am certainly not some kind of street fighter or anything like that. I'm much more of a reserved or chilled out person than that, I think. And so I was funding my training through that, and I didn't really recognize it at the time because I was so convinced and confident, and I had the belief that this was going to be the play because I'd seen many martial artists and I'd read the book, and I just had that formula. I seized it, and really what I was doing was taking a pretty decent risk back then, turning down a stable job, stability, for something that was less stable. It was never going to be stable. You're always going to be working paid by the hour type of stuff, and then you had to maybe have a martial arts gym, and that was my goal, was to have a fantastic martial arts gym and train a stable of fighters. I always knew I wasn't going to be like a full-time professional fighter because I much preferred the coaching to the fighting. And I'm totally cool with saying that. I might not have been back then, but I much preferred the coaching to the fighting. And I felt like I could give more and contribute more as a coach. And so that was the start of my coaching journey, really. Started coaching martial arts, got loads of different qualifications, and I was working from the Straight Blast gym and Carl Tanzor's gym and doing private training and coaching for people in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Thai boxing and self-protection and boxing. I did a lot of different martial arts, like boxing and as well as that, and judo. Absolutely loved it. It was my life. And then I got a number of injuries from training so hard. A couple of shoulder injuries in particular, and I had to start to rehabilitate myself. And Carl, my mentor, gave me a DVD set, actually the circular discs that don't exist anymore. Put this in, and it was a rehabilitation series by an American strength and conditioning coach called Mike Boyle. And it blew my mind, the breadth and the expertise of like shared within that. I was into training, I was into fitness, but really it was to be a better martial artist. And so in that DVD set, it was a turning point. It was a change moment for me of, wow, I really need to get into strength and conditioning. And that is where I'm going to end this story, because I'm going to save it for another one. If you like that, by the way, if you want me to share more of this type of stuff, please do leave me a comment and give me some feedback. I do need your comments, I need your feedback, guys. But I think the message here is taking some risks at that stage allowed me to take more risks later, and then more and more and more. And listen, there's lots of failures in there too, and I'm going to share some of that with you. But you get more comfortable with the downside when you are doing it more often. And so that decision to step out of normality, to step out of what was probably to a degree my destiny, to go down that sort of salaried, employed route, but more into self-employed and entrepreneurship and so on, really defined me, really changed my life. And that has allowed me to have this life. There's definitely lots more twists and turns along the way, but taking the risks, backing yourself, and being curious enough in something to find the conviction. The deeper you go, the more you can be an expert in something. I always like the phrase, much better to be an inch wide and a mile deep than a mile wide and an inch deep. Certainly it serves me well, has served me well, to go deeper into things and really drive forward in them, as opposed to try lots of different things. I still like that as well. It's good to keep you an open mind and stuff like that, but I think the key here is I went all in into this martial arts game, made it my life, then went into strength and conditioning, and that is where this story ends. Hope you enjoyed that, guys. I will see you on the next video. Appreciate your attention, and just look at these beautiful views tonight. The beach, the vibe, the people. Might be time to go home and have some dinner now. All the best.